You do not have to wait for your first big stage to be powerful. In fact, your power shows up before you ever step on a stage. And if you build it now, the stages will find you. Now, there are too many aspiring speakers that think that power comes after experience. You assume, oh, I got to have done this 50 million times to be a powerful speaker. That's not the truth. And truth is, you can carry power from day one. You can be an individual who goes out there in front of the world with a new message, a new keynote, a new everything, and be out of the gates powerful. Right? There's some folks that just have it. Now, you might have garnered it from meetings and conversations and maybe did theater in the past. You were an actor. I don't know. Maybe you did none of that. Doesn't mean you can't be a powerful speaker from day one. You have to embrace the ability to know that you can. And actually, it's been done for a lot of people. See, power is not about the size of an audience. It's not about years on stage or industry recognition. There's amazing TEDx speakers that out of the gates kill it on stage. It's about clarity, conviction, and connection with the audience. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to step into the mindset, into the habits, and the strategies of a powerful speaker before you even have your first official stage. As we go through, I'm going to break down for you 5 different sections that'll help you clarify how to do it. I'm going to go to my board here so we can unpack all of this. And I may go back and forth to make sure I'm going to take my notes, make sure I got my stuff with me. Let's rock and roll and go through all this stuff and cover it the way it needs to be covered. So first things first, we're going to dive into the 5 aspects of what it takes. But for these 5 aspects, I want you to realize that we're not just winging it randomly. I'm going to guide you through and make sure these things hit your heart. And also, more than just hit your heart, they're going to be able to be things that lock into your brain. So as I fill this in, just tune in. Take notes if you want to also, because I promise it's going to be beneficial for you. So first things first, when it comes to your power, what you first have to do is define your power. Define. This word right here is simple. Now, the interesting thing is you want to define your power before the world defines your power. What I mean by that is there's going to be a lot of people that come out into the world and they go, hey, you have to do it like this. And you're going to find yourself feeling completely incongruent with how they're forcing you to do things. Or you might assume because there's some speaker you like to watch, the way that they do it's the way it's got to be done. And it doesn't. Like the way they do them is how they'll do them. They can be powerful there. If you try to recreate their energy, their perspective, their flow, their cadence, you'll get lost in the mix. You'll lose a sense of yourself. And also, you won't be as powerful as possible. You simply being you and me knowing that you feel comfortable being you, that brings the power. So before you ever go to the stage, define your power. It could be in energy given. It could be in storytelling. It could be in charisma and how you speak. It could be in the use of your words. It could be in how you are able to move and navigate the stage. It could be in your experience of life, just purely having gone through something that people go, man, that's super cool, right? That is where your power can lie. But you have to define what you want to show to the world before you get up in front of the world and expect the world to just go, oh, this is great. Now you got to define that. You have to be the one that leads that. If you do it properly, it's going to be smooth and good. Now, it actually comes heavily with owning your message too. I've talked about this in the past in other videos. You might get a chance to watch them, but it's all about owning what your message to the world is. I don't mean your topic. I don't mean your concept. I mean your actual message, right? My topic area is grit, resilience, change management, and motivation. However, my message is dark work. The work that I do in the dark that allows me to win in the light, which is all about optimizing my identity for peak performance. Dark work's my message, not my topic. And what happens is when you own that message and you know what it is, you deliver it the way you want to deliver it, there's power in that. People go, man, this person's out there killing, doing their thing. Why? Because you feel confident in speaking about the thing that you feel confident in. And if you can flow in that manner, you'll show up in an amazing way because you'll define your power and share it authentically from the way that you want to have it be displayed. So it comes from the message and it actually allows you to build. What I mean by build, if you look at what your world is, right? The message that you have an ecosystem of your world, right? There's a way that you think you function as paradigms that you implant in people's heads that you believe to be true that are based on your life and experience. And what happens when you create that world I call it an ecosystem, that ecosystem becomes your space that you reign in control of. Right? Some people have topic areas they own that are in certain aspects of delegation, productivity, change management, whatever it is. But when you bring someone into your world, you define what that world is comprised of, who belongs there, who doesn't belong there. You get to be the king or queen on high. which means you're now in a position to own that space and you can build from there. And you get again to define the power of who you are. So, this first thing here is define your power, create your world, share your message. What is it that you want to be able to say? This is who I am, this is what I do. No one else can touch this. Because when that becomes the case, chest fills up. You look good. You look powerful. You step into the stage vastly different than if you didn't define your power and you were waiting on the world to grant you the conditional validation of what it is. No, don't ask for the world to give you their power. Take it. Be powerful in who you are. That's the first part. Second thing is, where's my, oh, it's in my pocket, right? Next one is practice in public. Most people think it's practice in private. It is not practicing in private. Sounds crazy to say it this way. You know what happens? Most people there is a feeling of comfort with practicing in front of your mirror in private, where no one can watch you, no one can judge you, no one can give you feedback. But the interesting thing is, you can spend all your days in front of a mirror talking to yourself and presenting your keynote, doing your thing, and then all of a sudden find yourself on a stage in front of real humans who will look at you with real eyeballs and have a real response to you. You can hit every single line, every word to the mark and still bomb the speech. Well, how, Anthony? Well, because you've given the speech, and the thing is, you were thinking about the words of it, but you weren't paying attention to the audience and how they were responding and feeling and absorbing this message, whether it made sense or didn't make sense. And you just rolled through because your assumption with your single mind is this is perfect for the other minds that are going to absorb this. Not how it works. The role of the people you're speaking to is to give you feedback so you can feel out whether or not this is actually a viable concept and a valuable idea, all that stuff. So you must practice in public, in front of people. Social media live streams is a great place to do it. Go live, see who tunes in. Maybe one person tunes in, great. That means that as people come and go, you weren't hooking them. Your job to hook them. Get them to come in and pay attention. Maybe there's not a lot of thumbs up or hearts when you say something. What do you got to say to get more of those? That's engagement, right? And no one's asking questions. What do you have to put out into the world, or is it consistency over time to get people to then reply, engage, and see you as the expert they want to ask questions of? See, doing it in private, it protects your ego, but it also halts and or diminishes the pace at which you can get amazing on stage, to have power when you go and speak. But if you don't spend time putting it out there live in front of the world at some point is not going to get a chance to touch and feel and adjust what you have. Therefore, they're not going to embrace it at a higher level because it hasn't gone through the ringer to optimize. That's just a great statement I love, and it says, first make it, then make it perfect. Right? You have to first make it, which means first deliver it, and then over time make it better and better. But the better and better over time isn't just you looking at it, because you can tweak till the cows come home. It's you spending time making sure that what you're saying, people love and embrace and enjoy. It's based on feedback. And that feedback may not always be good feedback, by the way. You might get people trolling you. You might get people saying negative things. Your job's to push through that, to hear what's being said, not how it's being said, and then from there get better and better and better. And that's going to be the thing. Can you get back on the horse when somebody knocks you off with a comment or a statement or something you don't like to hear? If you can, you're going to be great. But do it on social, do it on podcasts, do it in guest spots for speaking, do it locally live. Go talk to your friends, groups, and teams and companies. Go deliver content, share ideas, practice speaking. And then from there, you get feedback. The more feedback you get, the better. And actually, I'm going to tell you, this sounds crazy. The worse the feedback, the better. Because if someone's bold enough to tell you something crazy that's not good, and you can learn from it and then adjust so it never happens again, you get that much better, that much quicker. But most avoid that. Why? Because they want to practice completely all day long in private. Don't practice in private, practice in public, right? Okay. Number three, we'll call it point number three, is you want to adopt this. Listen, it's adopt the blank of a speaker. It's adopt the identity of the speaker you want to be. Identity. What's the difference between identity and a mindset? Well, a mindset's a way you think, and identity is how you are, how you be, right? A mindset is a thing that you have to activate and put forward. You have to think through something in advance, and you have to navigate that. There's some people that bypass that whole mental process, and they have a personal identity of who they are. Therefore, this hemming and hawing is not even, it's not even into the picture. Their brain doesn't even register anymore. They just function like this. There's standards like this. This is what I do. It's how I do it. Someone goes, how do you think like that? How's your mindset function? What do you mean? I don't even consider that this is an option, that this can do this, that this wouldn't be right. It's an identity. Now, what I look at for the best speakers in the world is you don't want to mimic who they are. You want to look at people and see, can I become that person? To remove yourself from being a hobbyist in this, right? You don't want to dabble in this. You want to be a speaker. Well, what are the great speakers that you admire? What do they do? Not how do they show up and perform? What do they do to get that way? Do they constantly create content and videos? Are they on podcasts? Are they marketing themselves? Are they, doing different things? Are they making their own stages virtually and then in person? Are they doing, different rhythm, different habits, what are they practicing? How are they practicing? What are you watching them do? And then what happens is you get to stand back and create, like you make your own podcast. Why not? Make your own TV series. Why not? Make your own anything and put it out there. But what happens is in the beginning, yes, the speaker you want to be is doing things that you don't do right now. And stepping into the world to recreate what they're doing, it's going to feel incredibly uncomfortable. It's going to feel like it's out of character, out of your identity for who you are. Normal, it's completely normal. It's going to be out of the norm of how you see yourself showing up, right? Okay, great. Look at it this way. If it's out of my identity, but it's in the direction of the identity that I want to be, that has things I want to have, well, now if I could embody the habits, the patterns, the actions, perspectives, the optimism, if I can embody that and identify with that through micro actions over time, well, now I become that speaker. It sounds crazy to say it. It's like that simple, but not easy. Because you have to show up and make decisions like that person, do outreach like that person, speak in a way that has confidence like that person, know your message like that person, right? Deliver your message with clarity like that person, engage with audience members like that person, overcome obstacles and objections and roadblocks like that person. It's all the identity traits that show up. And when you do that, you move yourself into a position of being more in line with that speaker at that level that you may desire to be. Without identifying like that, all the habits, the patterns, the actions, it'll be like, I don't do that. I don't know about that. Back away from those things. And in doing so, if you want to get from here to there, but you keep backing away from things, you're never making true progress. You're never going to arrive where it is you want to arrive to. So you need to adopt and embrace the identity of the speaker, not just a couple nuanced things that look comfortable. If it's comfortable, question it. Like I tell my son all the time, he's a football player and he finds comfort in like easing away from things. I go, hey son, when you find comfort, question it. Only because you're not where you want to be right now. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. You're just not where you want to be. So when you feel comfortable, question it. Because if I'm comfortable as who I am, I'm not making progress towards where I want to become because that's growth and growth isn't comfortable. Okay. Number 4. Hey, I hope you're enjoying this video right now. Now, I want to let you know I have a training coming up. And in this training, I unpack my entire speaking business system. It's called the Speak to Freedom Formula. Now, in this system, I unpack what's literally taken me from $0 to 7 figures a year in my speaking business. And it's something that you can actually do for yourself. So all you have to do to get access to this is you can click the link that's in the description below and it'll take you there, or wait till the end of the video, check it all out and get over there. But no matter what you do, don't miss that. All right, that's it. Let's get back to the video. Number 4, you got to do this one. Blank credibility until you build it. And then I put the word it's back here, but here we go. Build it. Blank credibility. How do you do this? Borrow credibility. How do I borrow credibility? Well, you have credibility in a lot of areas. You have it in your experience of life. You have it in networks, right? So there's 2 different areas to do this. The first one, when I say borrow credibility from the place that you feel confident you know something more than somebody else, right? Most folks want to step into a space, start speaking about something they don't have experience in. You're not going to have credibility there. You're not going to have confidence. But if you know something well because you've been a manager for 30 years, or maybe you've been in a position of leadership for the last decade, whatever it is, maybe you've been in sales for 5 years, there's some space that you have some awareness or some intelligence more than the next person. Your job is to step into that space and borrow credibility from the area of expertise and start talking about that. Maybe you want to at some point talk to people about how to navigate a great relationship. Okay, well, we want to build up the skill sets to know what concepts and topics are great for relationship building, what to do and not to do, how to formulate thought, how to deliver a message, how to speak in front of people, right? But while that's an area you have a passion for, you might not have a ton of experience around doing that, but you can borrow credibility from the fact that you've been in a position of maybe, I've been a leader of a team for a decade and I've learned how to grow this here. Talk about that, share about that, speak about that, so where you get that confidence built, develop the message. You start learning how to do the things that this thing over here requires of you. Now, that's a personal thing. You can also partner with people, network, have conversations, get in discussions, invite people onto your podcast that you want to interview, you want to know things about. Don't be a person that has an ego that goes, "Oh, I don't want to have anybody look at me as less than somebody else." But you are. You haven't got to that person's level yet. So step in with no ego and a drive to be great and ask questions, borrow thoughts and ideas from what they share with you and give them credit for it, right? The idea is you get to start developing a network and branching out to really borrow credibility from those in the industry already doing it. So number 4 is borrow credibility, volunteer, do things, create an interaction that builds your reputation by being able to be in proximity to minds that you respect, which if you respect them, other people also probably respect them as well. Okay. The 5th point, blank yourself properly. This is very simple, but you need to do this. Package yourself properly. Package or present, we'll call yourself properly and professionally, right? The idea isn't something where you want to be in a position to go like, I do these things and it looks cool, and then you have a cool message, but you look to the world aesthetically like you're not doing it seriously, like you're just playing around with. Don't dabble. What I found is years ago, I had a buddy of mine look at my studio and he goes, "Hey, is that your studio?" I go, "Yeah." It was just like a wall with wallpaper. He goes, "That looks like a rinky-dink office." I go, "What's in my office?" He goes, "Do you want people to take you seriously?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Then you need to look like you take yourself seriously." I was like, interesting, because if you don't take yourself seriously, they're not going to take. No one's going to just all of a sudden go, "Yeah, that person's amazing," because the thought's cool. No, you have to present yourself holistically great. Now, I'm not saying build a studio. What I am saying is, when I find you online, I'd better see a solid web page at least for your speaking. I should definitely see a cool story reel that tells your story in an edited, beautiful way. I should most definitely see social media posted consistently, talking about what you talk about that you're experts in or your expertise lays in. I should see that you have presented yourself professionally. You've packaged yourself in a way that's proper, professional, clean, clear, concise. Here's language I say all the time that I learned when I had my gym business years ago. No one notices if it's clean, but everyone notices if it's dirty. If it's clean, it's expected. It's not like, "Oh, it's really clean in here." That rarely happens. But they do go, "This is a little off." Or their brain is putting together a price point based on what they see. And if the number is above what they see, it's incongruent. And you may have a beautiful message that could develop and serve an amazing audience. You could be on a stage if they gave you the chance and kill it for a $25,000 keynote. But if when I look at your stuff, it looks like a $2,000 keynote, I'm not booking you for that. So you have to take all these things into account and package it properly, present it properly, so you come across as highly professional, because you, when they hire you and put you in front of their group of people, their employees, their team, their association, whatever it is, if they have a built up brand that's high level, high caliber, high quality, they need to have someone they bring in match their own in their industry level of high caliber, high quality. So if you don't match what their brand is, they're not going to bring you in and make them look bad. They want to look great. So if your brand is polished, you're pristine, you're dialed in, you look amazing. You got to be in that position. So these are the 5 points to think through when it comes to you becoming a professional and powerful, oh, drop my thing, powerful speaker. Because the powerful speakers aren't born on stage. They're not all of a sudden there. They build into it. They flow into it. So if you want to be a professional speaker, it's powerful in what they do and shows up amazingly. All you really have to do is walk through these 5 steps and spend time putting this information into action. You do that, it'll be game changer for you. So hit the links that you see on the screen if you want information on what we do. We have a company called Speak to Freedom. It'll unpack for you exactly how we do what we do. In the description, you'll see some cool URLs. Check us out, at least speaktofreedom.com. This is something where I unpack for you real baseline stuff that gives you insights of how to become an amazing professional speaker behind the scenes, business wise, and on the stage when you show up. If that has of no interest of you at all and you have no care to go work with somebody, no problem. Just keep watching my videos. Check out the next one coming up. It's going to be able to give you even more insights and information on how to become not just great on stage, but great at getting on stage. All right. I'll see you in the next video.